no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here.
Okay, we are back and we are in game. It's time for Mix against Nemiga Gaming, with the latter starting on the CT side of Mirage. Their choice of side, of course, Mix's selection of the map. Kicking things off with a default to begin their pistol.
Yeah, just setting the feelers, seeing what's going on. More or less waiting for the move on Underground to kick in. Do believe it's Rig on the Vaults. There is a jump out of the window. Can't, to be honest, lucky to be alive from that position, but will also go Hound in, trying to get the blood from Connector instead. His body's dropped on short to kick things off. 2 in the feed for Mix. Finally a response from the USP from Spawn. Sowalio needs to hit a few though, and at least the numbers level.
Yeah, 24 hours or so in the side, already trying to make his mark in the server, but instead, it's 2 kills quickly rallied back. Synopsy. Mix just getting pushed forward as Santa's the last player left. The contact already taken. Crossfire prepared, and with that, Volt has claimed the round. Mix on the board first, strong pistol to start.
Yeah, very simple stuff. As I said, sort of waiting for the con push to come in. They knew that they wanted to crunch A. A little bit of resistance from Spawn. Sowalio putting a threat in the round, but quickly dismissed. A double from Volt and from Synopsy. It's a rifle-heavy investment heading into the second round. 4 AKs. It's a ballsy one, Harry, because 5, in fact, if, you know, you get dropped by the rogue pistol, obviously not invested, but quickly a rifle into the wrong hands, you know, a few AKs into the wrong hands, and automatically the CT side, incredibly, incredibly scary. But not to worry, the threat is from Ramp for the CT side. As for Mix, it's a walk through. They'll try and find some space from. Good shot from one flat row. And now, pick of the poison. Do they want to go A or B?
They still have plenty of time to make that decision, of course. And as you saw, as much as there is the possibility, that one of the guns is lost, and it is. Sowalio non-stop so far in this map. Still has to be retrieved, and those AKs can cut through the unarmored opponents lightning fast. Late dive being made with a minute left towards the risky Bob. Not cleared, headshot, but no kill on A-Court. And Synopsy has managed to plug the gap. Make that transition between the sites just a little bit easier for them. As this one is not going to get out of control just yet. Synopsy with a belter. Santa does finish off with damaged A-Court. And honestly, 3 guns surviving, not the worst, but also not the best.
No, exactly. That's the danger of buying those rifles. It's a heavy hit to your bank account when you do find yourself without a gun in round 3. Of course, they'll have 5 AKs back. They'll be with full utility, but you can see Volt's bank account drained. Synopsy the same. A-Core, 1 flat throw. You know, losing this, you look at a map 10's next round. It's not great. A mid-cross smoke and 1 towards window to kick things off. Seems to be that Mix confident playing sort of a semi-structured default. Quite surprising. I expected maybe a little bit more of a puggy play style, you know, trying to burst in for early control, like that classic B&E that we were used to. It's a methodical take towards middle, dropping that window smoke, trying to push a player up con. Some resistance round there. Sowalio up to 4 kills in round number 3.
Does pay the price. Comes in the form of most of his HP though. Lear still hanging on from the edge of the smoke. Goes unpunished. So it's a double player advantage for Nemiga. Looking at the bomb, it's still dropped outside of apartments, so Mix are far away from being able to fully commit to a site, although they have set their sights on A for the time being. 2 players through con. Consequently trying to be the distraction from ramp. And they're just going to run into the site. A-Core, triple kill! And all of a sudden, it's game on. 2 on 2. Synopsy forced to retrieve precious cargo, and might just be considering wrapping around to the other side, as this has been quite the distraction. Finally felled his A-Core, 30 seconds, and still Synopsy no closer to a plant.
That's genius though. He threw a flash over mid, above ramp. So now they think, wait, he's just pop flashed himself, maybe Tetris, shallow on ramp. Look, they're still trying to clear, trying to gather the information. It's bought all the time needed for Synopsy to close the gap on B. The question is he going to prioritize the bomb, or is he going to look for a fight? Xanta's been very loud about this move. He's jumping in and about the kitchen area. Now it's time for action. A caught a lot of the heavy lifting, but it's Synopsy to try and finish the job.
Didn't fall for the bait, and now has to play out the 1 versus 2. Holding on for a player jumping through the window, both in the market. First flash coming out, it's an early sign of utility. Synopsy yet to go down so far in this map, and to keep the flawless run going, he needs 2 more. Not looking the right way, Xanta dead and buried with Khan by his side. 3 not out, mix continue.
I mean, plain and simple, Harry. 2 on 5, bomb left in spawn, Acor's deep jungle, Synopsy nowhere to be seen. He's off to retrieve the C4 to try and loop it back into this round somehow, and they've walked away with a win. Ludicrous stuff. A team like Nemiga, who have had recent experience at the top flight of Counter-Strike, should not be making simple mistakes like that. Economy crippled, hopes crushed as well for a way back into this game, and now the building blocks start to be put in place. It's confidence beaming from the side of Mix. It's a quick double from Acor, leaves him at 6. He now takes the lead as he drops a 7th body. The Deegs and 5-7s can be a lethal combination. Not in this round, Risky Bob finding 1, but Acor wants all 5. He delivers on a silver platter. Force buy meets little resistance, or rather half buy. And Mix 4 for 4. Yes, their pick, but I didn't expect dominance out of the gates just quite like this.
Absolutely not, and from the de facto AWPer no less.
Yeah.
The Dane doing what has been asked of him quite handedly, finding his man, opening up these rounds. As you say, you know, we're just coming off the back of a 5 versus 3 as well, but that looking a lot more convincing from Mix. And to just speak to the history of this team again as well, Synopsy as the IGL here, picking up pieces that, you know, he was working with before in Rigon, and some new faces as well. Acor being one of them, already proving his worth at the start of this. Timeout called by Nemiga. Got to pick themselves back up now. They chose to start on the stronger side, but until this next gun round, then maybe we get a look at what that really can be in full force. Sowalio with a rifle in hand, a scary prospect, but flashed off to first, and Juan Flatro taking 2.
Trying to meet fire with fire, Harry. And it's Nemiga that get torched yet again. Look at the gap found by Rigon. He's out to Kitchen Khan. Oh, he's so unexpected of that. And now Nemiga, last 2 players. I mean,
Save call.
It just has to be a pure save. You're right. There's no way you can try and see yourself into a retake here. It's just more money in the pockets of Mix. It's a dangerous move. They overpopulate. They overflood that mid position. They leave B completely open for the taking. And it's Mix that bury yet another hatchet in this first map of Mirage. One Flatro clearing another head off, another set of shoulders. It's just Xanta left in spawn. And if I'm Mix, I'm thinking about a hunt here. Yes, your money's not good, but, you know, if Mix's money's bad, Nemiga's is going to be looking even worse. So, the cost of 1 rifle for the sake of removing the final M4, it might be an investment that Mix are willing to take. That they will. Rigon shot should be Acor to trade, and it will be 4 points of health left. But no rifles left, and even the AWP scoops up at the end of number 5.
Everyone on Mix is getting involved in these rounds, and this time it's Juan Flatro. For Nemiga, they'll want to try and get back up on their feet, but that was the timeout, that was the investment, and the call made is a mid-push. Mix pretty effective in terms of their spacing so far. We get a slower look this time, just trying to gauge if the same kind of aggression is prepared. If Nemiga want to continue trying to take map space, a round with only one rifle does feel like a good opportunity to gain some early ground, and that's exactly what Khan's already done. Found himself out ramp, and Lear's not too far behind.
Yeah, I mean, Volt's going to hear all of this, though, and you can see Mix a good head between the shoulders of Synopsy, of course, the caller of this team. He's saying, well, we faced something really aggressive, and it's the first time we've really been challenged in the early round by Nemiga. That's the most threatened we've felt. So we're just going to sit passive, let them make a move. They're going to feel like it's their best chance, so we'll take map control piece by piece. We'll try and pick apart this defense once again. Good start, rifle trucked over to Khan. He does find himself the trade, but left on 1 point of health. Tickled to death at this point will be anything. And there you have it, the HE lands meters away, but it's enough to take the M4 out of the situation. 1 Deagle, 157, 1 MP9. To try and etch in a first on the board. Mix incredible here on Mirage.
And I think you naturally would against the guns that Nemiga have left. But has managed to recover a rifle, AK in his hands, already 1 kill deep. Needs to find 3 more. It's just a player advantage, just one man advantage right now that Mix hold on to, but Nemiga don't look as if they're going to give this one a go. Bob wrapping around to jungle side, now Con with Xanta. The AK should be saved here, the MP9 you can run into the ground. But I suppose with Kevlar, it's probably worth holding on to.
Risky Bob's gone to lunge for the gun and Con.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's
no
not
chance.
managed to pick it up.
Needs to, I don't know, work
Stretch
on
those arms out, man.
I know, yeah, exactly.
You were saying death by tickling. I mean, don't threaten me with a good time, but Mr. Tickle, you know, he had long arms. Maybe
yeah,
that's
it's true.
That's what we're looking for. Right now, it's just a case of Nemiga getting on the board. The AWP coming back out from Khan again. Second chance that he gets to show what he's made of. And it's straight into Palace, where he'll take the line. Some strong early information for Nemiga that this is most likely a B hit. The question is, how quickly does it come in? It looks like a split through middle.
They're just going to wait for the contacts on short, figure out exactly what Nemiga are up to in the early round. The flash comes in, the apps pop. True to its word, Harry, they do go fast. There's a crossfire set between the jail position and the bench. It's an easy double. Xanta picks them up. Risky Bob, 1.5. sowalio there to finish the job. And it's just Acor, 1 on 5. 2 kills already. We saw a 2v5 before. Acor is on a heater here on the start of Mirage. Now in this spot, I don't think you can count him out, even if you are on the side of Nemiga.
Just got to show an ounce of composure here as Acor is giving away plenty of sound, reconfirming his position with every step and every scope, looking for an opportunity to drop into the site. But finally, that intermission that we had between the first 2 kills that made things look scary and the conclusion of the round is Nemiga getting it on the board, getting it over the line and breaking the ice, because things were looking quite frosty.
No, definitely. Mix were on fire. Money good enough to rebuy everything. Interestingly enough, Acor, despite having nearly 10 grand in the account before starting round 8, opting for the rifle instead. I suppose probably want to be doing something a little faster. That's why he's opted away from the big green. On control, going to do something again for side. A missed mid-molly. One flat throw using his smoke as a preemptive measure.
Oh no!
Measure not needed. Nearly owns himself with the HE.
It's fine, right into the D stream. One flat throw makes up for it quickly. So there weren't any eyes on. Risky Bob loses his. Whoa! Walking into the corner. Lear loses his life. sowalio still hanging on to A, but Bob rapidly approaching on his left-hand side. Means that Khan has it all to do, and a quick double makes it look all the more likely. Volt in a clutch now this time.
Xanta blocked Khan on the jungle peak, hence why he took 65 damage. Volt with a lot to do. As a young man joined Fnatic Rising, praised as one of the better anchors, even Launders speaking volumes to his ability. The question is, with a little more maturity and a little more experience, can he step up, put Mix back to winning ways? He's just sat behind default. They don't know what to do. Can't. Locked in on the angle though. Volt tries to play contact off the drop of the smoke, and it's not going to be good enough to convert Mix their 7th. It's an AK and an AWP walk forward, and Nemiga will find themselves their 2nd. But again, critical damage being done. And another one of those rounds where, you know, you just take the first 30-second snippet and it's Mix that find themselves in an advantageous position. Yes, Nemiga won the round, but they just cannot for the life of them find themselves in a spot where they feel advantageous heading into an execute or heading into a retake.
They definitely did very well to respond in that round. As Volt was placed into a difficult clutch, it's Akor with a difficult opener. Xanta the one that begins proceedings this time. And while Mix are without their ace on the rifle, now still 4 players strong. 3 of them in middle, still hunting out Xanta. Drop back to a deeper line of cover on short. Couple tags from the molly, which spreads at his feet. And a couple players sitting in con here, just spraying through the smoke. Risky getting another one. Rigon on the swivel, it's a nice highlight shot. But still a 4 versus 2 when the dust settles, and it doesn't feel any more winnable as the round drags on. Lear collecting another, and Volt with a less impressive clutch attempt than the last time.
This is the bargaining chip of CS2 that Nemiga are bringing out though. Like, you've only played a couple rounds. Yes, it's 1st to 13, but you've won a couple, you've reset that T-side economy, and what could have been, you know, a staggering half, you know, 9 threes, 10 twos, it was looking dominant for the Mix side. Now, the question in the air is, are Mix even going to find enough to take a lead heading into the 2nd half, right? This could very easily end 6-6. I think realising that, their first tactical timeout being used, just discussing measures that need to be taken to ensure that this fantastic red-hot start isn't completely thrown away.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a hallmark of a great team to be able to respond when you lose that many rounds. We were looking at the potential of a guaranteed tied half, but at the very least, Mix giving themselves an advantage, one which now doesn't remain to be entirely out of the question, but they're going to have to roll their sleeves up and dig deep on this round especially. Juan Flatro is the one rifle to a selection of sidearms which are heading Khan's way. And that AWP is hungry. Poor Volt just satiating that thirst just a little bit, and all of a sudden it's a problem. Sowalio out in the open, he gets punished, and behind the wall of smokes, Volt goes down.
Volt on an AWP, it's quite an unorthodox spot to be in. Juan Flatro's rifle there to support. They do etch in a 2nd Nemiga, so opening the door to a possible retake. The question is, this big green, how effective can it be? Synopsis relying on Volt to hit his shot to ensure that he doesn't get taken out from sight. It's a good start. He's in the 2nd player instead. He goes for the quick flick. It's caught between rock and a hard place, but nails it towards spawn. It is 4 in the round for Volt, 7 on the board for Mix. And forget what I was saying in the last freeze time, Harry. 6-6, forget that. Mix right back at it. Finger on the pulse once again here on the T side of Mirage. 2 Tech-9 kills and it all spirals well out of control. They lose the entirety of A. Retake up one hell of a mountain. And it just does not happen.
Yeah, Volt saying to Akor, you can thank me for the Dragon Lore. Let's not give me any more chances to show what I can do, or I'm going to be asking for it back. And everyone plays with the AWP and the sort of basic games. When you've got to pick up the mantle, you do it, and it's almost over-delivered there with the money. This could end up 9-3 at this point in time if the Nemiga aren't careful, and already you can see Mix putting on so much pressure towards A. In the meantime, Rigon detached from the pack. Pick up the slack through middle and out connector, but still to be given that opportunity. And His time in the server is cut short by Xanta. Now there's a problem. Nemiga in close proximity of the site, and in the meantime, Lear is slipping around the back, ready to just sweep Mix under the rug and keep this game competitive. The T side still just not taking enough space. It's onto Akor's this time. He does have his first, but without the bomb. Too much time at his disposal either. It's cut short. 4-7, Nemiga right back in it.
It is back and forth, threatening to both economies. Nemiga just enough in the pockets to tide them over to the end of the first half. Can't quite say the same for Mix though. They are in troubled water yet again financially. 2 AKs, 2 Deegs, and a Tech 9. Gotta say, Akor 14-7. He's been having a fantastic game so far here on Mirage. Yes, only 11 rounds played. But scary stuff for the likes of Nemiga. Probably not interested in someone having a performance like that. No life games, please, especially when the odds and the stakes are so high. Xanta, good start, but Rigon quick to trade.
Such an important trade as well, but Rigon was not expecting Khan. Lower through underpass, AWP in hand, and multiple players staring in the direction of Synopsy, who now has to courier that bomb all the way over to the B site, where his teammates are already starting to fall. First pick taken, Volt into the site, as is Bob, with that second AWP on the final round of the half. Won't be able to land the shots that he needs. Volt gets the most of it, but Lear is right back at it. 7-5 on the half, feels respectable for Mix. Nemiga have battled back brilliantly.
It's another level, this one over here is very rare. Ridden got me skanking, had me feeling like I'm Fred Astaire. Bread was kinda short, but I was smelling like a millionaire. Claimed their opposition, when we stepped in they were running scared. Man were louding up the atmosphere. Too much chatty, too much catty. I just lit a fatty and it came from Cali. I'm not really here. I was in the clouds, I don't ever take the stairs. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. This another level, this one over here is very rare. This another level, this one over here is very rare. I was in the corner sweating till the lights came. Man don't ever sleep, step out on this night train. Right brain, man will blow your mind like a migraine. I was busting up these spots, pulling something out my socks. Man was shuffling out of blocks, phone and vibrate. I don't need to talk to Frank, I did it my way. Never slipping, never tripping, never violate. We don't gas around here, we on a higher rate. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare.
Welcome back to Mirage, where we have just seen Nemiga begin their comeback. 5 rounds in the half, with just one going towards Mix after the opening 6. You know, they were in a great position. Mix, pick up 6, 1-2, buckle my shoe type casting. But we're here, man. 2 rounds in it.
Yeah, 6-0 was the start of the half, as you say, for the unrepresented side. A-Court, what a half of Counter-Strike. He had 14 and 8, putting up big numbers. 123 ADR at the end of the first set of 12. But needs someone else to step up. Rigon, 3 and 10. He gets dinked up immediately by the Glock, so probably not turning to him, at least in the pistol. Vault with some good impacts. Synopsy, 1 flat throw, both hitting heads. Just need that extra 10%, Harry. Nemiga are a scary side, no matter if you're facing them with a 9-3 lead or a 9-3 disadvantage. They know how to turn every situation into gold. And that's what Mix need to be careful for, at least on the easier side for a complete Mix. It is the CT, the defense, that Mix will have to put up.
They're not going to have had as much time to get those protocols set, but there are default ways to play, and maybe Nemiga will be trying to abuse that as much as possible. Already 50 seconds left. Xanta has been deposited outside of apps. Sowalio is solo in Palace, and the rest getting ready to make a late lunge. No fakes, no change up. Mix should know that this is the sight hit now coming in with all of the nades thrown in their direction. Still keeping boots on the ground on B. The rotation is a little bit late, but Synopsis already helps get things off to a good start. That's Xanta with his head taken clean off and looking for a little bit more as the plant comes in. Bob trying to get his hands busy, but Juan Flatro with the next. There's a horde of CT players flooding back through spawn, but Khan has taken all 4 of them. How on earth is that possible?
I was just about to be a little bit of a hater towards Khan because Risky Bob swung and Khan sat back and just let him be gutted towards CT, and then he's just pulled off an absolute blinder.
He was charging up his ult, and then he just headshots all of them instantly. I don't know. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff from Khan. Gunning everyone down towards spawn, and it's put Mix onto pistols. The lead will be voided after this round. The jiggle towards under, 1 flat throw. Lucky to be alive. I don't know if maybe he was spotted on the mini-map or whatever, but the flashes will come after the smoke. A-Court sat underneath P2K, good for naught. Deeg in the hands of Rigon, now looking for headshots, has to connect. Doesn't find a thing. 1 flash so far, flank Khan already patiently waiting for it. Snaps back to hold the rear of the push, and now Volt left alongside Semi and Synopsy. And the USP fully dropped to the MAC-10. Simple stuff. Said in the pistol, you know, it's just boots on the ground Counter-Strike for Nemiga, right? Don't really want to do anything too out of the ordinary. Don't want to do anything too rogue against a side that could have all sorts of cards up their sleeves. You just got to play the Counter-Strike you know and love. The simple stuff will get you across the line. And so far, so good. 2 for 2 here on the attacking side.
That's the thing though, Ryan, it's not Uno. You know how many, you don't know how many cards your opponent has, sorry. And that's what we're here to find out. How deep does this Mix side go? On paper, you would simply assume, okay, it's just maybe a team to play and plug this one event. The player quality they've had, of course, exuding as confidence is shown by Juan Flatro. Chasing players out of middle. It's Khan who's on the receiving end. But Nemiga holding a very rigid default. Just trying to collect as much of that information as possible. Figure out what this CT setup looks like. And in terms of the info that they have right now, it's not all too much.
Patience I guess the saying is patience is a virtue. We'll see if Nemiga cherish that. Nice shot in middle. That's one of those that you can't miss. Floodgates open in middle. All sorts of utility being bombed out by the Nemiga side. But it's a pivot towards B that's going to catch this CT side off guard. Synopsy left alone. MP9, they double up towards middle. One passive on A. He's going to have to do it all here. Synopsy wants the HP to try and halt the push instead. It only invites the MAC-10 in for further pressure. Santa clears out the site. I think for the 3 remaining rifles, the save may be more appropriate to the situation.
Yeah, definitely so. Especially when you consider the fact that they were so far away from the site when the push came in. It was just Synopsy there, and to get any more than one with an MP9 would have been God's work. As Khan is doing exactly that. King Khan at the moment. He is put to rest by Volt as yet another of those M4s looks to hang on here. Rigon should be able to do so with the angle that he is sat on, but Bob just melts him. Under the bright light, he goes down. Now, Nemiga have the lead. It's a 1-round game, but Mix are still searching for theirs.
Given a moment to think, what do Nemiga do next? Showing a lot of presence towards middle, especially after cracking open for some control. Lean has been a solid lean for them. Other than the pistol, Acor getting cheeky around the edge of the smoke. Zanza catching one bullet to the stomach before having to retreat. But same old for Nemiga, I guess. You don't try and fix what's broken. It's going to wall out the axe angle. Nothing between the super duo of Rigon and Synopsy. Volt still with that M4, the ease of the 5.7 probably looking for damage, but yet again, it's better probably to keep that rifle in your own hands. Volt will look to exit, but it will be 9 on the board for the Russian side.
I'm liking the approach that we're getting from Nemiga here as well. It has been fairly straightforward, but this is how you have to play against teams where there is a lot of the unknown. Slow default into a direct sight hit with strong fundamentals and good trades, good spacing. And having Volt removed from the situation means that not a single rifle will make it through into the next. It matters not for Mix. There's still money beneath this side. Enough to buy into an AWP as well, as Acor is going to bring that one back out for the CT side. But they need to start picking up the pace here a little bit because Nemiga have not put a foot wrong so far this half. Sowalio shooting straight. Khan is collecting with his AWP. Something has to change or all of a sudden this pick for Mix could quickly be gone.
Yeah, I think we are at that turning point of this game, Harry.
And
these M4s and the AWP can't convert, it's tricky.
The purchase as well, there are not too many nades for this CT side to hold them back. So Nemiga, another thing that they will be looking to achieve with this default is to just bleed a lot of that early utilities. You can see down to just 2 smokes, 3 flashes, 1 HE. Mix have to distribute their resources accordingly as smokes fades. Sowalio has been caught by Volt, but there is an equal response elsewhere. The B site opened up, Synopsy gone, and only one player left to hang on to this. Rigon flashed out in the open with a molly at his feet. He does retaliate, and that's exactly what Mix needed when they needed it.
And yet again, Volt kicking into action towards A. You could see he was just there to buy time, wait for these players on A to rotate back to B, and now caught in limbo, have to retake this control. Volt still playing out on the top of Palace. Back his turn. I think he thought Acor was holding it down for him. Instead, you're left to do it all. It's a flip attempt, a second shot miss for Acor. He'll call in the assistance of one Flatro to make sure this round doesn't go astray. It's the first on the CT side for Mix, but even then, A little scary in some parts. Good job from Volt though, holding down that A control. Nice shot from Rigon out towards Apps. And it eventually does fall into their laps. 8-9, only a 1 round gap now.
Yeah, first round of the half for Mix as well, keeping Nemiga humble, not letting them extend that advantage any further than the 2 rounds that we had seen previous. Feet of Khan, he's going up in smoke. Volt chewing away at the Nemiga forces on the other side as he's left out on a bit of an island in dark. Synopsy in the meantime has managed to pick up a kill in and amongst all of the madness as the numbers do look to favour the CTs. And they've got so many bodies on A right now, ready to defend it with their lives, and just like that, the round is over and it's a tied game.
Look at the map, Harry. Look how deep in Apps that X was. It was literally just past the TV room. Synopsy within the first 30 seconds of the round has found himself deep into Apps, found a kill and fallen back. They overpopulate the A site. They basically just full press the issue because they know that B is clear. There's no information in middle, sure. No one was really pressuring it from the T side. Mix could just put all their eggs in one basket and say with confidence they knew that it was going to be A. And that's Nemiga now calling for their second tactical timeout. Just a bit of a head scratcher, of course. Box, their coach, been there just as long as Risky Bob, well, a little bit longer. A year and 8 months he's clocked in under the Nemiga brand. Only player that has been there longer than them is the leader of Lear, coming up to his 3-year anniversary. So there's some deep line connections within this team. And, you know, I guess the word is teammates. But you do really need to rely on your friends in this situation. Especially when, as I say, the format of this whole event is so cutthroat. You lose one game, you are out. You need to be top 8, and even then, you play a double elim, of which only one team qualifies. It's savage, and you cannot afford to fall here, otherwise there is no second chance.
Great need to kick off the round from Synopsy. One of 3 players that has upgraded to an AK. Coming into round 19, as Mix will look to be the first team to break 10. With how Nemiga have been playing, the read from the CTs and these quick over-rotations are set up on the basis of it's only going to be one direction that the push comes in from. No fake, no kind of blindsiders. Volt goes on the aggressive and does find a 1-for-1. Bomb is heading elsewhere, but sowalio has his sights set on A. He's opened it up for them, but Nemiga are still heading in the B direction. Rigon Dust gets spotted, damage around the wall, the nade to finish it misses. And the red carpet is rolled out for the bomb to head elsewhere. That's such a frustrating turn of events when it looked like Mix were doing all the right things.
Rigon blinded. Taken down, double digits is next to the Nemiga name first. It's a 100-meter sprint now, basically, to the end of Mirage. Mix a little bit handicapped, starting from around behind, but still with enough money to pour back in with rifles, and even the big green back out in Acor's hands, who has been less efficient, I would say, with the weapons given to him in the second half than that of the first. Could be a big turning point here, seeing Synopsy towards bottom. Mid, out in the mouth of underpass, he has to back away into connector. Got 85 damage for it, and Nemiga gets to take the scratch. HG further of an advantage. Rigon's just fell off the window peak. He is mid-air, double dinked. Risky Bob, probably one of the more unfortunate deaths he's had in this game so far. It's a big advantage to be handed over to the Mix side at such a pivotal point in this map.
That's the life of Risky Bob, you know. Always living life on the edge. It's Rigon that bests him there, though. Now looking at the rest of these mid-fights, Mix are just continuing to take the proactivity, knows no bounds, and maybe that's what will dig them an early grave. Xanta is the last player left, and whether he knows it or not, it is written, so it shall be so. Synopsy with the flank incoming, and that is 10-10.
Now it all is equal, right? I mean, financially, Nemiga a little less off than the mixed side. Couple of AKs into the hands of the CT squad as well. You only need 3 out of what is the remaining 4. Seems like a lot, but I promise you, with the money being this low on both sides, it will go quickly. Can't. Should be volleyed. The HE well placed as well. Even further damage done. He's at half. He takes the fight, so not too disinterested in showing face and risking the early damage being voided. It's just all about Nemiga pushing the right pressure points, forcing the utility out of Mix, and you can see with 1 minute and 20 to go, Harry, 2 smokes, 2 flashes, 1 molly. It's not really a lot, excuse me, for Mix to hold on to both sides of the map. This is where they're going to have to start searching for clues.
You can see Synopsys poking away at the app smoke right now. The added benefit of having 2 players close to middle is that you can make a quicker rotation. Mix have been able to establish some form of control here. Volt on an off angle as the first flash flies in. AK in hand, waiting to receive Nemiga as they are A-site bound. Turns his head from the first and falls to the hands of Xanta. Akor finds his man with the AWP on the way back through, but we've hit the 30-second mark. Nemiga are not in a comfortable position to get the plant, not until Lear has found a way to pick off Riggin through the edge of the smoke. An advantage for the half-buy as things stand. Synopsys running out from Ticket. He's responsible to try and establish some kind of extra control, but it slips through his fingers. Akor, Juan Flatro, and Akor again eventually respond, but it's sowalio on the other side. His position in Palace should be known. Down drop to the floor, reveals the position of Juan Flatro, but he pops around the corner with the kind of swagger that you expect from Mix. They will find the lead for themselves yet again.
Well, Flatro's even showing, guys, you wouldn't believe it. I've just owned this guy. I've just swung him from bottom stairs, dinked him straight away in Palace. And Nemiga now out of timeouts after this one. Their 3rd and final, at least, as regulation permits. Such an advantageous spot. Bomb plant gives them a little bit of financial freedom, but you can see this T-side crippled, Harry, at least compared to what it was last. Lear on a Deeg, Xanta currently on a Deeg, Risky Bob, P250. They've gone for the hero purchase. 1 AK fell into the hands of Khan. It's Lear that gives it up for the sake of his teammate. The rest of them ordered to just save their money. Confident that they could win the last 2 and stretch this out further than the assigned 24. See if they've got it in the tank, or maybe even there's an upset to be had with these pistols.
It's already started off decent enough way. Nemiga stretching up the length of mid, but Lear pays a hefty toll. HE at his feet, down to 22, and Khan removed from his side. Juan Flatro has to be a little careful with the timing here, but as those footsteps echo the hall of connector, he knows. And the round is dealt with quite handedly in the end from Mix. That will be map point on their own map selection. There were points in time where it didn't look like a certainty for them, but this response in the final quarter of the second half has been fantastic.
Yeah, as you say, you compare the first bit of the second half to the second, it's been night and day. You know, lost the pistol, lost the first gun by. We thought Mix were in deep, deep waters here on their selection of Mirage. Instead, they found a way to turn it right around. Sometimes the hardest part is the last, Harry. Getting to 13. Sure, only a round away, but still very much in contention. 4 AKs, 1 Tech 9. A little bit of utility to last for Nemiga, but really relying on headshots to be found and space to be given quite easily.
Synopsys has found a strong position, and the question on my my mind is how many further steps does he take? Rigon already picking up one from his beloved ladder room. But 2 back from Nemiga. Call this one into question, and Mix need a solution. It does come in the form of Synopsy. He's taken it the full 9 yards and now sat in T-spawn. Looks like he's starting to back away towards ramp. Volt in the meantime catches one in transition. This is awkward.
Yeah, they couldn't go back as well. Synopsy was deep in spawn. He's flanking A. They should know now that the bomb is on the B side of the map. Nemiga don't have the time really to rotate. No pivot. No assistance from Xanta. Low HP on short. He's not even in under, which means a late engagement will have to happen. Whether or not he gets cleared by Volt here, this is huge. This is everything. Volt needs to check the angle. He does, but misses the shot. Acor's hit one with the AWP. 2 more needed. The solo ranger on this site misses again. Needs to connect on sowalio, and it's the low HP of Xanta that might just walk into the guillotine as well. A missed shot from the AWP, but 10 seconds left. Bomb retrieved, but life lost. It's 13-10. It's Mix with map 1.
Great map win for Mix. Their own selection, of course, coming into Mirage. The expectation was always going to be there, Ryan, that with such a puggy team, this is one of the fan favorite selections that they could go for. Hello everyone, and welcome back into the second map of Mix against Nemiga. This Nemiga's pick, we go to Dust2 for their chances to stay alive in the competition. Single elimination, Ryan. It really is a cruel mistress at the best of times. T-side Dust, not a bad place to be starting though.
Especially on a map that they enjoy, Harry. Rigon, good first shot. He was a very quiet figure on map number 1, hoping that he could show his power and prowess in number 2. Lear, quick double, can't. Now's the third down towards B. It's Acor and Volt, 2 on 3. Bomb goes down. Not the outcome that the Mix side were particularly looking for.
Acor is going to be making his way through B tons now to just clear out some space. Precious real estate to help Volt, who's lightning quick with 2 flicks, and just like that, Khan is the last player left, and he's a dead man. Blink and you'll miss it. Don't blink, I think you missed it anyway, because Mix have pulled that out of nowhere.
Fantastic. 2v3, to be honest, Harry, I was kind of thinking about, you know, what went wrong in the pistol for Mix. Where could they improve in the second round? They kind of gave up mid a bit easily, and then all of a sudden, Volt with a double Acor with another. And the round is over. Nemiga, they won't struggle financially. A bomb plant does go a long way, especially in the early stages of a map. But Mix in the upper hand heading into a second round that they probably should have no business in even investing in.
Can't knock a trier, and with how close things got, Nemiga feeling that they had the right read of the situation. Their T-sided start on Mirage was one to behold, but left us with more questions than answers, I think, in the end, Ryan, in terms of how it concluded.
Yeah, and I feel like one elephant in the room that needs to be addressed is obviously Nemiga losing arguably their strongest soldier to an even bigger fish in the CIS scene, right? Obviously, for those that maybe didn't know, sowalio has only been here 1 day. This is, you know, his first day on the job. He's just went through the PR training, what have you. They lost the man's way to Spirit, and so big shoes to fill on his Deagle. He does take a bit of damage, but it's not without an attractive shot from Xanta. Scout finds the mark, and welcome to D2. It is basically the new Inferno in situations like these where you've drawn a bit of a short straw, you have no easy way in. There is an easy way out, and that is not going to be the financially damaging retake. It is just a flat save for Mix. A disappointing way to end this round, but one that Nemiga will take no matter the cost.
And somehow the second most surprising thing of the round is that you think these players get PR training. So Nemiga pulling off very impressive one. I mean, it's literally just walked up A, nice contact piece. And Fletcher trying to do some damage at the end there, but one pick onto the solo player ramp and that's it.
Yeah.
There was a deep deposit long, but that didn't really get any value. So Mix very quickly put in a difficult position. They can reinvest, of course, but for all intents and purposes, we are at a level score. And despite the good B spawns, Nemiga like to play with a much slower pace. Mix, on the other hand, right up the guts of mid.
Wow.
Xanta staring on down a couple of players. Hits a haymaker through the wall, which will land onto Vault. Support is arriving from lower tunnels as well, and that's even more damage onto Rigger. Oh, and Acre. Mix have barely got a leg to stand on after that initial exchange.
As you say, a massive gut punch thrown by Nemiga, winding this Mix investment. Of course, they saved a lot of these rifles, but still, all the pennies they had into the round 3 basket. This one is going to be over quite quickly. Would expect another save out of those rifles, especially Acor and Rigon, as you say, being tagged up so heavily. The XBNE partners trying to put some pressure in middle. Nemiga don't bite, they don't move. Nothing. Want to play on their terms, execute happening, or at least towards short, not so much onto the site just yet. To be honest with you, they've got to get a move on, because as much as I'm saying, you know, they're playing on their terms, quite quickly, with 25 on the clock, they're going to be playing into the hands of Rigon. Yes, low HP, but look at the bodies that have just entered the B site, Harry. It doesn't matter what Rigon does here. There's so many layers to this defense, and not a lot of time.
Healthy players on site. The B exec coming in. There was no long control. This is the only option. It's straight to the choker. Oh, welcome to Nemiga Gaming, I guess, Sowalio. A team kill in the mix as it's left to one Fletchero on 5 HP with 3 seconds or less to win it on time. I don't believe it.
No.
But Mix have gone away with absolute murder.
No, you cannot lose in rounds to time like that. And a big micro misplay is that there was a missed flash from Nemiga. It blinded everyone in tunnels, delayed them by 3.5, 4 seconds. And 10 on the clock, there was 3 players. It should never have been that close, by the way. Mix, I don't know how that they're left with 1 player on such low HP. Feels like everyone missed the mark. There was a TK in the mix. It was just a clumsy round of Counter-Strike from Nemiga. And they pay the ultimate price. The work done to give themselves that rebound round out of the back of the force investment. All unwoven. Acor caught in the smoke. Lear spams through the edge of the smoke. Just in front of the door. The scout is dropped him through the heart of the map. Can't just swing spawn. Kill through middle.
Well, re-peeking just to confirm. Finish what he started. Find a kill. A second would have been a gift because Mixed so desperately need it. They're going to walk out of this round with their heads hanging as Nemiga have tied things up almost immediately. You talk about work unwoven. Well, very quickly they're able to string things back together. Fast and loose. A very quick play through middle. Double doors has been an issue for Mix at the moment. Holding on to that space towards Xbox. They've shown us a couple variations, smokes, aggressive maneuvers, but neither of them have really got the kind of vice grip on that area of the map that you'd like to see from them.
Yeah.
Maybe a CT boost up short, something like that. Just a variation. Could be nice to see, but Nemiga have dealt very well with what's been thrown at them so far.
No, I was going to say exactly that, right? Like, you've got to look at the extremities maybe a little bit more. Think about, you know, you can self-boost onto short now. Do we want to overload the short angle? Do we want to try and maybe just take long presence and let someone sit deep? Do we even want to think about pushing tunnels on B? You know, it's not exactly like Nemiga have shown an overwhelming amount of presence on the left and the right channel of the map. As you say, it's just been very central, very forward, and there hasn't been much to do to stop them from doing whatever they want, right? The only time it's failed was indeed that round where they ended B with about 3 seconds to go and just didn't give themselves enough time to get the bomb onto the site and in the ground. Technical pause, of course, and apparently it's not going to be a long one. We're coming back soon.
Yeah, just fed that information by production to make you look like a mug, right?
Yeah.
Just say tech pause for it to immediately unpause. He's laughing as well. But no, there is no conspiracy working against you, Ryan. Not everybody in life is out to get you, despite what the people in Twitch chat tend to think for these sorts of games.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about, you know, the possibilities given the new VRS system. I'll shut up for a second because there is an early fight towards one. They do try and challenge, it's not a good one. Yeah, you want to talk about the severity of an event like this. You know, you play in a qualifier, if you make it, you're playing against some of the best, well, all the best teams in the world, really. There's no easy game in Pro League. Of course, it's all laughs and you see, you know, very content-based as well, which is always nice to see. But for players that haven't exactly hit the top flight yet, it's a massive event in terms of VRS points. It's a massive event in terms of experience. You know, this is a massive opportunity to try and throw away for Nemiga. I mean, they're 12, well, now 11 rounds away from doing so. They've got to play chase. Dust2, home territory. As much as you want to feel like it's your home base and you can kind of kick your feet up, you definitely can't, because if you lose one here, you're out. There is no second chance. There is no way back in. You don't have the points to be invited. So this is your only avenue. It's cutthroat. It's serious. And it's a hell of a lot for the rest of your year as a team on the line.
For Nemiga. Points to be raised there were ad-libbed by the hissing of mixed players getting burnt alive, engulfed in flames, and well, this round it does look to have derailed a little bit. A fully healthy Synopsy with an AK in hand is a scary prospect indeed. He's queuing up outside the B site, ready to put the fear of God into Nemiga. The first test, perhaps, is the most difficult one. Khan, right by his side. Other side of the door, but Synopsy nails it, and the follow-up is even better. It's only 10 HP. First taps out of his rifle is good enough to find the initial kill, but Juan Flatro is right there, in and amongst it. Mix gets stuck in, and we go all even yet again.
Yeah, I'm gobsmacked, mate. That's 2 huge rounds now that Nemiga have managed to find a way to lose. 3v3 against 1 AK and 2 USPs, they lose. You want to talk about that B play as well? I mean, what, 4 on 3, 2 players on 10 health maybe, and somehow they find a way to lose. This could have been 5-1. You know, other than the pistol, Nemiga have found themselves in a winning spot every single round. I think for Mix, maybe a bit of an eye-opener. With 3-all, we're finding so much luck and fortune in rounds like this. We need to start playing some proper Counter-Strike. And the boost on short that you asked for, Harry, delivers. Quick pick towards the lower tons push. Khan trying to return away with his own scope, but to no avail. M4 in middle, huge damage. Rig on 1.5. Synopsis assist finally found. And it is a 2-on-3 that Nemiga now need to kick back into gear with.
Khan rescopes. To the pleasure of Juan Flatro, who can hear steps. They go silent as the remaining Nemiga players group up to make this B play happen. It's been torrid so far, hitting towards this left-hand side of the map. And Volt is getting ready to receive. No, he's taking a shot through the midriff, and Khan opens things up. AWP on the line, smoke to support. Bomb yet to go down. Doesn't look as if it's going to post-haste. It's bought a lot of time for Juan Flatro. His position before was opportune, and even more so now. Has been revealed. peek from the side by Xanta, but in the big box mid-site, it's all on Khan. Edge of his own smoke. He knows where Acor is. The hip fire won't land. So Mix will find themselves in front yet again.
And this time it's with devastating repercussions. Risky Bob at 3.4, Lear 2.7. There's going to be a lack of AKs in the hands of the attackers' hands. There is 3 possible premium rifles, 1 MAC-10, 1 Galil. Yeah, it is exactly that. Mix have the lead. And as I said to you, Harry, that's probably another round you could even arguably add to the list. Is that a round that Nemiga should be losing after retaking the mid-presence? I thought maybe they had a chance back in. Instead it goes the way of Mix. Nice shot from Acor. The damage. It all adds up. Early stages yet again. Nemiga knocked down a peg.
9 of T's in middle right now. As Mix this time feel that area of the map is best left alone. Synopsy has to care for his head. You look at this Nemiga side, it does feel like there is a star player, an absentee. Khan is the first to be shown the door on this round, but as you say, you know, Zwei going off to Spirit has big implications, and as sowalio has tried to step up as best he can.
Yeah.
It's not quite coming together for them right now. And especially on a round like this where they're quite static, there's not much movement. You're looking for someone to just take the round by the horns and get things started. Xanta seems to think it's him, and well, he would be damn right. When Flatro removed from long, but the night is drawing ever closer. The round is getting late on. 30 seconds, and the bomb only just arriving in upper tunnels.
Late lunge, Acor. Dangerous game, sitting around the edge of a smoke. Volt now left. Rock in a hard place, his teammate is the distraction. And he is the hammer, finds the first, needs a second name in front of him. Rigon now left to clutch. They've got the bomb, and it's the exact same round yet again. Low time, Xanta has to go running through the smoke, and Rigon knows where he's coming from. It's another heartbreaking round for Nemiga, and we are just not clock watching enough. This attack always left late, in fact too late, as it is another heartbreak, another round lost. Admittedly, at least the kill happens before time, but we cannot keep gifting opportunities like that to Mix, because they are taking every single one of them.
From such advantageous positions as well. Time is a resource, and it's one which has worn thin for Nemiga a couple of times now. Their inventory here, taking stock, just pistols, but Khan's found something from the top shelf. Delivers a bullet to the brain of Juan Flatro.
Oh, and he's even picked up the M4. They've got the MP9 in the pockets as well. That's 2 guns handed over. Not good. Khan gets another. What a round. Deeg into M4. It's critical damage to the CT side. 2 on 3, and there might just be the gap that Risky Bob has found out towards B.
Khan's version of gun game has worked out well for them, but Bob needs to hold up his end. Another B play made. Plenty of time on this occasion. But still, both CTs present on roll call, ready to stop the cross. Bob's already taken a boatload of damage. Bob has his double. Down to the 1v1, no way! Lear just plucks it out of thin air. The round materializes for Nemiga. It keeps them right in and amongst this half. In fact, this is their chance to go ahead and tie things up.
It's the most backwards game of Dust2 I've ever seen, Harry.
What is this buy from Mix as well?
I don't know.
Acor's living the high life with an AWP, and I'm seeing players on pistols.
Yeah, I mean, money just warmed in. Acor surviving a little bit. It's just so strange. Like, all the rounds that Nemiga should be winning, they're losing. And then now we're starting to see Mix a round that they probably should have taken. A Deeg turns into an M4 worth its weight in gold. 2-on-3, they kill the first two and then lose the 2-on-1. It's so backwards. And speaking of the AWP, Harry, the rogue investment, it's the first to find the frag. And look how Synopsis just warped across the map, mate. I don't know how he's here so quick.
The last gun you'd expect to find in this round, probably, against Mix. But it has been dealt with. The stress test continues as Rigon tries his best to steal away a gun, hold on to half a chance. Utility damage on the player's side, but still, it isn't enough to soften them up to striking distance for Juan Flatro. And all is well that ends well, I suppose. 5-5. Similar scenes to what we saw at the end of Mirage here, Ryan, to be honest, from the T side.
Two to go, so it'll be Mix to take the eco. It'll be yet another even half-time. I feel like, you know, for what it's worth on Mirage by now, I think we had 2 or 7 timeouts now. We're 0 timeouts deep. Everyone's still confident in the map and what they're doing within it. There's a kill, a quick one at that. Rigon dead towards B, the only upgraded pistol in this round. The rest of them will shy away from a gunfight, at least for now. USPs head towards spawn. Just looking for the exits, I do believe. Risky Bob doing all of these steps, though. A bit of a shooting gallery. Takes one to the face. But still with half health, I don't think he'll shy away from taking his teammates on over. And in the meantime, trying to find a bit more. One more to the tally before eventually the headshot found. Lear tapping away. Nice first shot. Still trying to tap. Come on, mate. We can't be missing all those. Come on. There we go. Get there in the end, I guess. 6 on the board for Nemiga, but Synopsis nearly gets out with his life.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't following the action there as closely as you. It's looking like 6-6 is the best case scenario for Mix right now, as we're trying to play scorched earth at the end of that round. No keepsakes. All in to the next as the bomb is dropped back in T-spawn. Nemiga will play slow and expansive, a wide net cast. We've seen from these kinds of positions, if they can't get A long control early, they do tend to finish towards B, and for that reason you're seeing Mix stack players up on the ramp towards the site in middle, just waiting for the approach to be made.
Oh, bait and switch not set up quick enough. One flat throw now. 2 decisions, leave to CT to join his friend, or fight fire with fire. Rigon maybe a bit over-welcoming to the mid-fight. Synopsis trying to do the same. Khan drops off, probably at the best time for the A1S, and some good damage pumped out through the doors. One flat throw with one, bolt shot down to the big green. It's the pivot towards B that Nemiga will try and dash for. Mix aware of the situation, but the sightline found, and the AWP given enough time. He gets back on the angle. One flat throw from behind, gets another. 2-on-2 as Acor finds one through the smoke.
Chasing up the play, but things go quiet. Bomb's still not in. Digits not yet punched. Holding tunnels. Juan Flatro doesn't stop. He's walked out car, for God's sake. And now sowalio, if the corner is a little more shallow than it was before, has a chance. Wanted to play discipline, takes it in the open instead. And in the clean air, finds Acor to make it 7-5 for Nemiga. And so the second half is a last chance saloon for Nemiga. They've managed to bag themselves an advantage here on Dust2, their own map pick. Although the context surrounding it is majorly important, Ryan. It has not been the cleanest of games from them so far. Mix have already shown us how good their T side can be. We have to remember, though, that the second half of Mirage, it did take them a while to get going, and you can't afford to give those opportunities to a team such as this.
Taking a lot of damage through the smoke. Trying to return the favor on the side, around the edge on back row. Blood, but it bolts through the heart of it. Rig on. Favor returned. There has been only one kill where both opponents have seen each other. Everyone else has died through a smoke. Synopsy delivers more good news. And on the front of Risky Bob, just too many bodies in front of him. Can't hit a thing. And the gap shrinks down immediately. Pistol goes the way of the European side.
Yeah, it's a feel-good round for Mix, I think. Dancing in the dark, dodging bullets. But the band of brothers make it through. No better feeling than taking the A site on Dust2 with your team on T side, I feel like. I don't know if that's just me personally, but definitely in a strong position now against 5 USPs. Okay, one flash to set up a play. And swings round the side, but they are met with Juan Flatros, AK, and 4 kills for good measure.
Got scary.
Yes, it did.
Just, sorry, evaluating what was coming out into this round. Just an interesting selection. Obviously, the 4 Galils. Well, sorry, 3 Galils and 2 AKs. Hex, Bolt, given the long spawn, and given a flash to go run with it. Lear. Okay, well, that's a bit brave, isn't it? Yeah, I was going to say, the nade will push him back. All the same for Mix, though. The distraction was long. The real force out in middle and with some pace at that.
One flash behind this. The bullets just don't land for him. And sowalio's got his own back. It's a team kill the opposite way. And may matter not, as Rigon is next on his hit list. The bloodlust stops for nobody, apparently. He now stands 11 kills tall at the top of the CT side of the server. Vault has plenty of work to do himself to try and eclipse that effort, to do what the rest of Mix could not. The molly dropping in will support him here, as sowalio is an easy pick to kick things off.
2 more to go.
Got 8 HP, Ryan.
Is it doable? Probably not, but he'll give it a good go. A bomb plant will go an extremely long way here for Mix. She has from long. Doesn't have the time to do this, really, to be honest with you. Volt needs to pick up the pace. Xanta now more aware of, look, with the time being left on the clock, he's just going to have to hit a site. He did have a smoke Volt.
Yeah, I was
Play across. Okay, it's now going to be the hunt. Not much of one. The smoke has completely missed the position where Volt's planted from. So it will eventually mitigate the crisis, but a little bit scary that he was allowed to just do all of that.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised he didn't smoke the cross, but at the same time, you can see the rationale. That's still your chance to take a clean fight on a long angle when you're low HP, higher room for error.
Yeah.
The safety of the plant was prioritized.
Okay, sowalio jumps out the way.
Mix are grouped up behind the double doors here. Looking to pop out after the smoke fades, but They give it a moment. They let it breathe. And 4, soon to be 5 players on shore. It's just the incendiary, impeccably timed from Lear, that is stopping them from making this execution a reality. We've just hit the minute mark. Mix are ready to go. The T's now pushing towards the A site as Lear is supported by his own smoke. Great utility, and the flash through would have been exactly what the doctor ordered. Instead, it seems like Mix have the antidote. A lethal injection as the bomb eventually drops to the site.
What a nade.
And that HE, as you say, has shut down the C teams dead in their tracks. They've got to call this quits. The white towel is thrown in as they look to bunker up on the B site.
That HE just shaved off like nearly 100 points of health between the 3 players. Khan taking 10, sowalio 40, Risky Bob 50, so it all does add up. And Mix walk away with an 8th, a leveler in this map. And considering the series situation and the climate of this map in particular, Nemiga probably going to be feeling a little bit stressed now, Harry. You know, your chances of Pro League, or at least advancing to stage 2 in the quali,
Yeah.
like quite literally, one BO3, you get through to stage 2 of the quali, you lose this BO3, you're out. And considering Mix are what are effectively 5 rounds away from knocking you out of your hopes at Pro League, it's a damn scary thing to think about.
Mix have plenty of their great players themselves. The credentials are there, but as you mentioned, Nemiga looking to make it back-to-back Pro League appearances, with Season 21 only being their first foray to the tournament. We're at the RMR for Shanghai, the Austin Major, of course. We all saw them make it to the 2nd stage. When you lose a player commended by the best in the world as one of the future greats of this game, it's the kind of loss I think they're looking a little bit too shaken without, perhaps out of their depth here. Santa is grouping up for a brawl beyond this smoke. There is support inside the site, but the player has a flash to help tee up the play. They've just got to watch as it happens in front of them. The blind from Volt, in fact, helps to collect Lear as he's the next one to go. Across all but safe. This Khan has stripped back the forces of Mix, but they've already achieved their goal. They're on the A site, the bomb's going to go in, and that's the round.
Another one of those that you have to chalk up to just to save. The problem is with all of this, Harry, is, as I said, sort of to set the mood at the beginning of this, you're kind of running out of chances to play the safe card. You know, you're going to run out of opportunities to, we'll just keep these guns and move them into the next round. Mix are now at 9. You've got little to no money in the account. Of course, the financial side of things says the save makes the most sense. But in terms of this series, you maybe go from hope to desperation. Khan dropped, sowalio left.
Terrorists win.
Round outcome will not change. And Mix deposit yet another round in that bank account, getting ever closer to hitting that number 13. And taking Nemiga's chance of ESL Pro League away from them.
Reality is getting closer and closer. Mix steeped in the quality that they have. Just have to get past sowalio's M4A1S. And double digits will be theirs. Volt flashed onto the angle. It's that man on your screen, sowalio, but he's been felled and the rest all behind him. Headshot on a teammate. Oh, it's gone really tricky all of a sudden. Juan Flatro has to help bail his rest of his team out. In fact, he's got it all to do now. Molly can push away some of the stragglers, but still, He's got Lear at his rear. And a little bit too much to handle right now.
Reload. Cancel the reload. Oh, 2 bullets.
Oh, okay.
It's all he needs. All the HE. Is he even going to find
No way.
Khan? Is this really going to happen? One flat throw. Smoke on short. Bomb planted for it. Lear moves in. Last known location was lower tunnels. He was tapping away at one flat throw for the quad kill in the round. Lear, the leader, has to step up. X-ray off. It's all about reactions even for us. It's a missed shot from one flat throw. Lear appears out of nowhere and he will just save the day to avoid absolute heartbreak. Nemiga 1 on 3 and they nearly throw it away.
So the captain with 3 years in the Nemiga side bests the 3 HP Juan Flatro, who was looking for his 3rd kill. They say that great things come in 3s, but for Nemiga, they're just getting started. The scoreline tied right back up. Money on a knife's edge for both teams. It may just come down to the next couple of rounds to decide it all, whether Mix continue onwards and that Stockholm dream stays alive, or Nemiga bring us to a 3rd and final map.
Just a mix. They are playing Nemiga, of course, rank 28th in the VRS rankings. A damn good performance against Sangirl earlier today. Already earned my respect there. The fact they might even do it to arguably one of the best teams in this qualifier. I think they're the 3rd, 4th highest ranked team off the top of my head in this event. It's scary. It is really scary that things are doing it. It's bad, good. M4 out of ammunition. Synopsy knew at that point Rigon was a dead man and he was only using his body as bait. Risky. It's another. Synopsy trying to close the gap flash around the corner. He's able to find the mark. Lin on short can only find one. It's a 2-on-2. Mix another chance to just shatter the CT side economy, but a failed smoke. Synopsy has to use a flash to give himself some breathing room. And now the ball is in their court. Synopsy and Volt. sowalio Khan.
Split up from one another. sowalio might just have the jump on them here. Traded. Volt goes down, but not without a fight. What is that from Khan? Full wallbang through the default box, and he knows that that was audacious, but gets away with it. And that is the difference for Nemiga.
Tech timeout. A huge door has been opened for Nemiga once again. As you say, both sides just so financially crippled that even the smallest of dominoes falling has such a big effect. 1 AK, 2 Tech 9s, 2 Deegs. Then again, on Mirage, we saw the exact same happen with very similar weaponry. It was Volt double on the Tech 9. Took an AWP and found 4 in the rounds. I don't think he's number 1 in the queue to get the AWP out here, but we've definitely seen miracles like it before. Nemiga, no round is an easy round, especially at this state in the series. Apparently, the issue is a mouse has died. So probably giving that a quick zap for the rest of the map. And then back to scheduled programming.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a momentum breaker here. Not what you would have been hoping for. From what we've seen so far, though, Ryan, from Mix, where is your head at in terms of estimations for this team? Do you see a future for this group of 5 players as a roster? Of course, I'm not saying individually, because of course these are all talented names which we expect to see in the upper echelons of CS.
I mean, it's hard to say because a lot of mixes that sort of band together like this find themselves in, I mean, the common name honeymoon period, but it's just where you're still learning, you can get away with silly things, and, you know, you're sort of less under the vice of an in-game leader, or, you know, less micromanaged in that sense. Do I think this is a honeymoon period? Yes. But do I think that this team has potential? Also, yes. Like, you look at the pieces, in you know, my honest opinion, you've got the best 3 from back-to-back major performer of Bad News Eagles in Synopsy, Rigon, One Flatro. Acor, he is an incredible AWPer. A lot of people are quick to judge him and sort of say, oh, there's better AWPers out there. I've played against Acor once. You know, for a lack of better words, he absolutely owned me. He is, honestly, it's so insane how good he is. And as I said, you know, yeah, maybe a bit of bias, obviously, watching ITB, the home team for us in the UK for so many years, make the major, and seeing him get on shore. I'm a big fan of him as a person, but as a player as well. You know, I even said to you, over the last 3 months, he's the highest rated player within this team. I think this team has potential. A run into Pro League, I think that is well out of their leagues right now. But look, if they can pull off a miracle and take the qualifier their way, sky is really the limit for this side. But maybe Nemiga are the ceiling. And we'll see if Dust2 can be bottlenecked. Good start for Lear on the M4. Sansa, a third. Synopsy just firing blind through the smoke. Acor collects one with a D, but it goes Lear's way. A quad kill for him against the Eco. And it is Nemiga that strike 11.
Getting to that point now, Mix looking at the funds, it's all dried up. This one has to stick, or you're staring at the stark possibility of a deciding map. And Earth, is Sowalio down to 2?
Bang. Acor hit him through the door.
Oh, okay, all right. No, I didn't hear the shot. I didn't see it.
I didn't either. I
was like, what on earth's happening here then? But it all makes sense in the end, I suppose. And for Mix, sometimes you just need that shot through the wall. But out in the open, Bob has his risk taken and risk rewarded.
Underlying health for both teams not in great shape. That advantage, as you say, a huge one in the means of this round, and by collateral, the map. Still a minute and some change to play with. What is the plan? A run boost? Rigon going to get launched over the top. Second jump, please, sir. Flash, go, and run boost failed. He did connect for a bit of damage. Risky bomb forced off the angle. It makes to be disciplined. We don't want to overstay our welcome. Don't push into the jaws of the big green just yet. Think of option B. It's one Flatro out towards tunnels that they're going to join, especially now. He's just caught off the tagged MP9 of Sowalio.
Just looking for max damage, and he does so much of it. Followed up by Lear, finished off by the captain. Nemiga taking 12 in a comfortable fashion. Mix starting to fade away at the end of Dust2. Ancient looking all the more likely, especially when you consider the dire straits that their money's been thrown into now.
Die card hits the first peak. Shoulder shown by the scout of Volt. He's trying to return the favour, but the AWP falls off. Doesn't want to challenge, at least while the smoke is open. a row required from Mix. It has to start with a 4v5. A huge creep up on short for Juan Flatro. He's not even going to fall back. Eventually, because of the HE, he will. It makes out some good utility. A smoke deployed from the CT side.
Lear once more. This trusty compatriots by his side, supporting all the while. So 1 versus 2 now, 5v1, and it's over in an instant. Yeah, we're going to be heading into it in just a moment, Ryan. How are you feeling though? We've already discussed in detail how it is we're feeling. I would say Nemiga right now have to be favourites. I can see the map on the in-game, and there's been a lot of brawling in that mid area. And finally, they're ready to go.
All right, Mix on the CT side. I think you are right, Nemiga favourites, but Mix have showed a lot of heart in this series, Harry. Like, it is...
For sure.
An unfathomable amount to even go to a third map. As an unranked team, as a team with very limited time, at least in an official environment together, the fact that they're even, you know, taking a map very close to winning 2-0 and finding themselves on a third, yeah. Very, very solid stuff. Let's see what they got for us, though, in number 3. Synopsy and 1 Flatro. We'll have to watch this one from the spectator screen. A-Core, Rigon, and Volt left to pick up the pieces. B-site compromised. Everyone is nowhere to be seen. I think this one is pretty much etched into stone already that Nemiga will start action on the right foot.
A-Core in middle gets overwhelmed. Just down to Volt and Rigon, former teammates on Gamer Legion, put to rest by the new boy on the block, sowalio. 24 hours and counting, but still plenty of impact made. That's a 3k on the pistol, which gets Nemiga started.
Second should just be a flat eco as well. Ancient, one of those maps that you can get sort of a bit cheeky. You don't have to buy as much utility, so taking a flat eco here will give you enough to invest purely in weaponry and whatever else you can afford in round number 3. Let's see. Try in the eco. Unfortunately, oh, dude. Yeah, you'd be tilted at Xanta for that. I'm not going to lie to you. He's just blocked him off. Completely fluffed his chances of staying alive in the round. I mean, he does get 3 with a Mac 10, so the money in his pockets. sowalio nearly drops to the USP, but pretty straightforward. 2 for 2. Nemiga, and quick start.
Yeah, we're just glad that it's not sowalio this time, because in the last map he was involved in 2 team kill exchanges, once on the receiving end, second time got his own back. Nemiga move around in a cluster at times, that is their undoing. But for the most part, when it comes to starting off rounds, they're so default heavy. They don't like to give us that change of pace, and on a map like Ancient, when you need to fight for a little bit more control, it does suit their style quite nicely. On the mix side of things, players like Juan Flatro have had their moments here before. I'm sure you'll remember a few of them.
Oh yeah.
Individual skill harnessed from strong anchoring positions. In this round, he's one of a few players now grouping up in the red to go ahead and re-clear this space. Bob on the other side doesn't want to get caught with his hands busy. There's a little bit too much going on. Flash from A-Core sets up Synopsy. It's the A site now under threat, but the CTs arriving in numbers. They fall where they stand. Single player advantage for Nemiga, but look at the health. It's so low, but it matters not. All on Volt, one lucky spray and he could be in for a few kills, but even then, it's a hit and hope.
Well, let's see what he's got in the tanker here, Volt.
Here's the double reload. Managed to get out on site already, but down to 19 points of health. It is fleeting. Made to do a flip, and Nemiga find all three.
Probably the coolest way to exit out of the round is to somersault your way out of existence, but there you have it.
I mean, I saw that Tony Hawk is getting more involved in esports or whatever, so...
Is he?
No, not really, but
Oh,
he was
okay.
at an esports event recently.
Oh,
So-
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, such is life, I suppose. Also, I don't remember Tony Hawk doing many backflips, but, you know, swings and roundabouts into the next round. Mix with not the most money, and actually, that flash from Xanta probably does more harm than help. And Flatro with an opportunity to just move around this smoke, and support has arrived on the scene. Still Juan, yet to be cleared, forcing Xanta into the cave where he will find his. And it breaks 4 on 4 with the bomb over towards an empty A site.
Yeah, freebie for them. Rigon is in main, but activating way too late. So find himself firing at the default angle there, playing the headshot. Xanta finding A court. Done, Khan gets one, Rigon. Quick to trade, tries to jump up. Where's the M4? Trying to long arm it over the top of the triangle, will eventually get there. Out, Lear caught in the open. There's no time to defuse. I was going to say, that if
no
they had a
kit.
kit in play, it was very doable. But they will find themselves a win no matter what. It is just the case of damage. And to be fair, a lot of it done. Volt survives with the AK. But 4 players dropped on the side of Nemiga as well.
It's a solo sowalio that will survive the round. Still yet to go down in this map, as Nemiga can say the same for their score count. 4 rounds unanswered. Finally, we get a better buy out of Mix. 4 players with full nades. AWP back on A-Core. Has had moments, started the series strong. There's been good times gone on through the middle of fire and flame. Sowalio will eventually fall. But there's a quick trade in place for Nemiga. Mid has been overrun successfully yet again. Now this reposition from Rigon, however, I am a big fan of.
Bolt. Easy pickup, advantage falls back in the court of Mix. Yet to score around here, Bolt. Oh, you could just see it happening. Xanta counted down the seconds in his head, knew when
Yeah,
the retraction of the cave control was going to happen, and
but
the number's now leveled.
in the meantime, Rigon has cleared out all of A, so Mix can focus on the B site itself. Acor's still worried about the possibility of a mid play coming in. That's where Rigon needs to take the next step and confirm it clear. Site control has been given up in the process, and Acor just fails to pull the trigger. His hands go numb. Fades to black, and Mix have to bail from the situation. It's going to be 5 from 5 for Nemiga now, despite the great situation that Mix managed to put themselves in. I felt like the CT macro there was really good.
Will close. Draw to its natural end as the bomb goes off. Mix. That one hurts. I think that was their best chance yet at scoring in this. Matt Parry forced to wait longer. As Nemiga on a heater here on the start of Ancient. And you kind of feel like they're returning the favour of what we saw out in map number 1, right? That Mirage 6-0. Yes, the half did turn ugly for Mix, who were the leaders at the time. And the scoreline got a lot closer, but because of that hot start, it just felt like they were uncatchable in the rest of the map. And
Yeah.
I think Mix needs to be careful. Falling into the same trap does have that devastating repercussion. You know, this is the final map of the series. If that does happen, he will not be going to Pro League.
Still feels like a long way away with that double elimination stage and only one open slot available. We already know how much it means for Nemiga. It'll just be their second time at the competition. As I mentioned earlier, with attendance at some of the biggest events that we've seen the last couple of years. Well, last year or so, I should say, 365-day stint. We're looking to make it 6 for 6. Still piling on the pressure. They will disengage from mid eventually and hand it over to Nemiga. 1 minute left to spare, and that is when they make their arrival. The A side of the map looking very open right now as B is opened up with Juan Flatro falling in cave.
"30 seconds. To be fair, yes, it's a 4-on-5, but the time is low. They have to make a move fast. B under lock and key. Synopsy finding Xanta. That volley, dangerous, because it's now keeping them back for that little bit longer. A-Core at that brokey angle, coming out of Temple, needs to hit shots, needs to deny the bomb going down, but it's Rig on the flex too. Needs to get more, can't vault. 8 seconds, not in a position to deny it, the plant from happening. Flashed off towards spawn as well. Has got a kit, no utility. 1-on-2, it's a big ask. He needs to step up.
It's another clutch situation for Vault, a 1 versus 2, a tough negotiation. He will bring a kit this time. No tap, knows about the first player, but sowalio has already taken his timing around the back. It is 6 consecutive from Nemiga. And no matter what kind of position Mix put themselves in to deal with this offense, they just don't have the answers.
How bad does it get before they win a round? You know, how bad does the deficit go before Mix show face here on this third map? This one, also a likely candidate, a full investment. All the eggs in the basket once more. Trying their best to score. Better late than never. Start Rig on getting away unscathed as well.
He has been the one highlight for Mix so far this map. Started the series slow, but from Dust2 up until this point, has looked to just a little bit. Xanta knocking on the door of B, posing some questions, which we'll very soon see answered. Biggest concerns that we had for Nemiga on the previous map was that they left it late at times, and with the 30-second mark now crossed, time is of the essence. It is dwindling. Juan Flatro, his nose pressed to the choke, MP9 in hand, followed up by A-Core's A1x, and with that, oh, it's just not quite enough. All of a sudden, the house of cards, it just falls apart straight through Mix's hands. Rigon has to step up and be the hero yet again. 5 kills already to his name, needs 3 more now. Shuffles into a spot which goes cleared by Xanta, the hero of the round for Nemiga. Such important entries. 7 not out. This has been quite the turnaround.
I mean, it's hard to say anything in this spot, right? You want it to be a competitive third map. Both teams put in such a shift to get here. You know, open quals, or in Nemiga's case, you know, VRS invite, but playing so well in so many other events. The fact that 7 rounds into our third map to see who gets knocked out and who makes stage 2. A round go the way of Mix. It's a better start here. We're 5v4, but one Flatro has given up his life in lane. Vol also joins him. Acorn, nice shot on the D. Need a couple more though. Tagged up to 19. It's tricky. There's mollies. There's fire. Unfortunately, the only thing being burnt right now is the Mix chance of making the main event. Synopsy 1 on 3. It really could be 8-0.
The coattails of Risky Bob on fire as he lives up to his name. Bobbing and weaving. And always a little bit risky, that peek through the fire in spawn. Just completely catching Mix off guard, even in a round where they're supposed to have the element of surprise. He wants the exit. It is messy, but he'll get there. Can he get the gun though? No, because he's dented the bomb anyway, but Jesus, that was one of the rounds. One of the many rounds that Nemiga have found so far.
I think you should have just left it at 1 of the rounds. One of the rounds, and it's in Nemiga's name once more. Continual pain and punishment. They just cannot find a way into this map. Tried the mid pressure, didn't work. Tried the B lane pressure, didn't work. And the struggle, it's really there. Is round 9 going to be the breakthrough?
Rigon is walking the line, but being hearing away spam from Nemiga as they have a few. He might just be on the other side, and they're correct in their hypothesis. Mix haven't really left any CT presence towards mid later in the round. The rotations have been strictly spawn-sided. The deviation here is Acorn alive, replenishes that smoke in the elbow yet again. We're past the minute and Nemiga are only just starting to make their move, but it hasn't mattered so far, and it might not here either. Not unless Acorn can hit the shot which he needs. Maybe he doesn't have to. Juan Flatro has supported him in his endeavor. The bomb still dropped all the way back. The players on the B side for Nemiga have to do it all, and they've already started through Xanta once again, the conduit for further success.
In Synopsy Court, 2 on 3. The bad news is just flowing. Giving a chance. Oh my word! Nearly misses everything. Acorn, scope in, 8 seconds, can't pass on the corner!
Oh, how?
It's a massive miss! And the bomb goes down, pivotal moment, Juan Flatro needs the kill. He gets it. Lear, cubby corner, scope in, Acorn eventually hits the shot he needs. And Mix, etch in there first, but it takes them 9 to get there. They take 1.
I mean, if there was any round that Mix were to win, that would be it. Or in fact, no, not really. I mean, so many missed shots from Aker. Juan Flatro struggling a little bit there as well, but they've put the pieces together, they've broken the ice, and they're on the board. That's the biggest takeaway. They are on the board now. It was so needed. And Nemiga really should have punished them.
Some damage done at the beginning to the Nemiga attack, but you feel like this half, even though the first of 9 go Mix's way, the pressure is still relentless. Lear walks out of A main. Rigon caught with his pants down. Util in pocket. Molly missed was actually good. So not too much of a swing other than just face the default angle. It's a missed molly that pans out to be an okay one. Flat throw, tucked in at default, re-swings, activates, Volt gets another. Khan fighting for his life behind big box. Sowalio 1-on-2, knows where both players are, and still just less than a minute to play with.
Mix right back in it. Bomb in the open. Sowalio trying to escalate things here. Nade goes in. Juan Flatcher in position revealed. Acor can't afford the missed shot and won't. Right on the money. And I'll say it in a hushed tone, but it does feel like when a team shows up right at the end of the half, you almost feel like they're set to win the remainder of them. I could very easily see this becoming 8-4 if Nemiga aren't too careful. And their money, not in the strongest of situations either. There are concessions being made. Mac 10, Galil.
I was going to say, for a team that won 8 rounds in a row, I think from a standpoint, admittedly my fault, has gone completely under the radar, as you say. Win one here, money's reset, and it is an 8-4 half. It's somewhat recoverable. You still heavily rely on winning these 2 rounds here, and the pistol to get you back into the game. It's another sitter missed for Acor. Now, the pivot towards either side can happen. A has to be careful for the flank. B now locked in on site because of what's at spawn. Scary times.
Mix bolting down the hatches, trying to play defense on the sites rather than middle, which lets Sowalio right through the center. Look at Volt, he's on an island, but still able to fight. Just the one which he will be able to pick up. Synopsy, opportune as ever, wants to catch the bomb in transition. There are a couple of low targets on the other side as he goes storming through his own smoke, and the one placed next beyond him. Sowalio removed, the spam searching for the next. Still the 1 versus 2, and still very winnable. Reload has been heard. Reposition expected. Backed up into cave. This one is watched by Lear. Crystal Ball playing from long is there, and Lear plays for the spam in the end. And we'll find the kill that takes Nemiga up to 9. They had to work for it, but that round felt a lot more efficient.
One more in this half. Now at 3. The kills are plentiful, and they're all in yellow in middle. Acor gets one back, but it is just decimation. I mean, we're what, 20 seconds into this round, and Volt's been placed into a 1-on-4. It's going to be the half over, and it's double digits Nemiga inside the first 12.
It's unbelievable. The first map, Mix is choosing Mirage. A 13-10 win, which inspired confidence that this Cinderella run could send them all the way to Stockholm. But Nemiga come crushing back with a reality check. 10-2 on the half. There's a mountain to climb for Mix now. 8 rounds separating the teams. Nemiga far in front and Mix fading as the night goes on. Their opportunity to make it to Pro League seemed far-fetched, but with the results that they've got already knocking Sangal out of the competition, we held out hope for the possibility. And on Ancient, there's still a chance that anything could turn around. It is CS after all. Ryan, where's your head at coming into what could be the last time that we see Mix in this competition?
Unfortunately, I think no matter if they win or lose the pistol, it's such an uphill battle. 10 rounds, the gap. I mean, that's 10 rounds straight without dropping a single round. It's pretty hard to do in the first place. Never mind when you're going to feel demotivated. We'll see if they've got it in the tanker to battle through this. I just think it's going to be quite an emotional one. You know, you've worked so hard in the open qual. You beat Sangal this morning. BO3, you're playing him. D2 looks promising. You lose out on Nemiga's pick. That's acceptable, but heading to the third and possibly being wiped out here in such devastating fashion. It is a do or die. It really is all or nothing. The question is how big is everything for the mixed side? How deep do they run before the cracks start to get the better of them? An unpracticed team, may I remind you, or at least a limited practice team, I should say, compared to the likes of Nemiga. In every sense, Nemiga now have them beat. It's just the classic David versus Goliath story. And unfortunately, Goliath is winning quite heavily at that.
Yeah, he certainly is. I have to say, I don't know how many times I've seen Nemiga and Goliath put together, but they are one of the better teams in the competition, as you said. 4th seeded, I believe, amongst a few other names. Taking a look at what the scores on the doors are and how the other teams are doing at this point in time, I mean, I had seen that Sashi had taken a map away from Liquid and going into the decider. They do lead 8-1. So,
yeah,
who knows? We have seen stranger things.
No, it's true. We also had 9 get knocked out by TNL.
Yeah.
Which is a huge one, as you say. Sashi up 8-1 in that decider. Iberian solo G, 9-all as well. So, some close games across the board.
Pistol could mean everything for Mix. Get started in the kind of fashion that they would have liked. Rigon at the double, his third, before the dust settles on the A site. And Mix have time to set up this post plant. The retake comes in from either end. One player spawn, that's Lear, already dropped to 65. And Xanta's Berettas have found their mark as well. A 1v1 between the 4 guns, and it's Xanta again. All on Rigon. He must ace to keep Mix alive in this Pro League qualifier. Season 22 might just be too far away if he can't pull this off. And it's not possible. Lear has done it. The plant at the very least will be the cash injection for a potential force. But the 11 rounds have gone against them already. And the incline only gets steeper from this point.
Yeah, that is painful. Another advantageous position. Thrown away. This time it's Mix that suffer the ultimate consequence. There is a technical timeout before we head back into the action, but I just feel, at least in my head, Harry, it's all the same. Timeout or not, no matter what the excuse is, Mix's time in this qualifier has ran out. And I cannot overstress the disappointment that is. Not for me or you, for the players, right? So hard, such a short span of time. You make it through the European qualifier. You play Sangal this morning. You know, probably have one of the longer games in Counter-Strike's history. Not exactly the longest, but I think what went 55, 60 rounds, somewhere around that mark. 28-25. So yeah, what, 53 rounds of Counter-Strike to make it to this BO3. Such a competitive map 1, a very competitive map 2 as well, may I say. And then for this to be the scoreline in the third. It's sort of an injustice, isn't it, on the performance that they've had in this whole event. Let's see if they've got any fight in them with the force buy, but yeah, I don't know, mate. Look, miracles can happen, but I think this is more than just a miracle.
Good damage onto Lear to start. He makes up one of 3 players currently on B, as middle is where Mix look to try and go next. The molly drops to the back of Donut. That's the information that they have cleared at least some of this space, and with Rigon still roaming around, there was the possibility of a late lurk, but that rifle needs to find itself involved in the execution. One of the few things that Mix do have going for them is numbers in this situation. It is a 5-on-2 towards the site now, as Bob has dropped off a little bit. Even with that initial bit of pressure, little moves made. The CT side now starting to get themselves in position. Still 2 players from Cave. Site does open up for Mix, and Bob's got things started. Opening proceedings, first kill late into the round as the bomb just goes in. 2 immediately back from Nemiga, and Bob still hanging around on the site. The fog hanging over the heads of Mix as they can feel this dream slipping away from them. 2-on-2, Volt up close, getting personal again. Another kill from him. Sowalio with it all to do, but he's done it so far. No transfer for him. 3 for Mix, and they're first of this second half.
Sure, a nice first round. How good does it go for the Mix side in the future? Yes, Nemiga on pistols. Yes, Mix with the better weapons. 8-round deficit is so much to work against. Rotation towards B.
Yeah, on thin ice. As they know that each and every passing round may just be one of their last. It was an attempt made on the B site, but an attempt on Synopsy's life in the end is what it transpires to be. As Bob loses his head, loses his life. Felt like a little bit unnecessary, but the information was what was most important there, and it's just reconfirmed. Mix are still hanging around B. Van Flatro, more importantly, he's the only one that's been spotted. The rest of his team on the T side are moving over towards A, but Juan Flatro is still farming up kills.
Just down to left, as you say, buying the time and the space. He'll eventually get all 5. Nicely done for Mix to find their 4th. Some good money put into his bank account as well, Mr. Flatro. Give it a go in number 16. Full USP eco for Nemiga, so no interest in winning this round, just about damage and keeping your money. That's the aim of the game.
Ooh, Juan Flatro is a dead one. Response from Rigon. Nemiga creeping up through the cave. But the walls are painted red, and it's just Khan left. Mix are slowly starting to get there. Just a matter of 6 rounds now that will separate them from tying up the score, but that still feels like a long way away. Ryan, we have to keep ourselves grounded in this kind of situation, as do Nemiga. They will understand that it's not going to take much for them to close out this map, but the fact that they are so close, yet still haven't found a winning formula against this T side with money underneath it, becomes all the more problematic.
Lots of util. On flat row, a blind man out towards lane. Nemiga applying the vice grip on this control. A nice double. Will eventually get taken down, but not before. 85 damage is dealt. Risky Bob catching Rugun, trying to walk through the red room smoke. Volt sat twiddling his thumbs outside B, waiting for Acor to loop around to join him. But even then, the damage is done. It is a 4v2. Nemiga have to close from this spot. Spam. Damage done to Volt. Still just toiling, playing with its food as he'll eventually hit the mark. Spots A4 as well, and both kills go his way. Map, series, and stage 2 point for Nemiga for Mix. It is 7 rounds straight, or you go home empty-handed.
All it is in the end is just a change up in terms of how Nemiga choose to play the B control. Those opening kills just count for so much. Stage 2, something which they'll have familiarity with. It was the portion of the major as they took an exit in Austin. But the fact they were able to find themselves so far in the first place, it says a lot about the direction of this team. The player change doesn't seem to have dissuaded them whatsoever in the slight break. Sowalio has done a fantastic job.
Oh, missed Molly.
One of his first officials, like you say, Lear presented with an opportunity. 4 players left back in middle, but doesn't want to snatch at it. Waits for his timing, finds Synopsy eventually. Volt trying to pave the road towards an open A site, but it's through the middle where they choose to go instead. And that's Rigon dropped by Bob. Dwindling in numbers and so far away from one another at this point in time. The two main players are just waiting for Juan Flatro to greenlight the play. Lear looking to catch him, but can't. Juan Flatro is just too damn fast. He needs the second. He's gonna get it, and Mix do stay alive for longer.
One on 3, gets the first, but only one. 6, countdown begins for Mix. Still series point Nemiga, nothing changes there. They got for us in round number 19. Waiting with the lead start for Mix. I don't think for a while, but I suppose economy substantially is a step in the right direction. Synopsy gives a freebie through the edge of the smoke. Sowalio happily take that fight, knowing that he was in the advantageous spot. 4 players on Mix remain.
4 more chances to keep it going. Nemiga have plenty of those. 6 of their own. And this the 7th. Back out into middle. Mix starting to make themselves known as we cross the minute mark yet again. Risky Bob at top mid, spraying through the smoke from Red Room. Damage onto Acor. Santa has been spotted. His position uncovered and quickly taken down by Juan Flatro. The driving force behind Mix in a few of these rounds, and the one to lead the line, the point man of the push as they head to the MP9s, laid waste on Nemiga. The dream lives on for another round, it will seem, unless Khan can stave off this aggression from the T side a little bit longer, but he goes up in a cloud of smoke. 7 secured for Mix. And just 6 chances left.
patient wait for sowalio to see if he gets to keep his AK. He won't go challenging. 7 on the board now for Mix. And another technical pause before we head back into the action. Lord knows what it's for this time.
Beats me. You can hear chat going off. I wish we got to see what the players were saying at this point in time, or at least shed some light on the situation. But we'll bring you any updates if and when we have them. Hopefully the game can resume as soon as possible, because we all want to see how this concludes. Mix have momentum now. 5 rounds for Nemiga to close this out. 5 chances. I have to remember, it was a 10-2 half. And even then, Nemiga were able to win the pistol.
We continue to wait, just evaluating the economy for Nemiga, in a spot where you're in 2 minds. Do you want the utility? If so, you know, you're going to have to take a bigger hit in terms of what you invest in this round. If you're not fussed and you think that the rifles are enough to push you to 13, then maybe you do give the AK a bit of a support, whether that is utility, armor, or even just an upgraded pistol. Because right now it's pretty bare bones. The 1 saved AK, 4 USPs for the side of Mix. It'll be 4 AKs in the big green, stacks a util. And now, that newfound hunger and motivation, Harry, because maybe there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's easy to say, you know, 10-2 half, you lose the pistol, it's game over. Mix were just no match. Now we kind of have a small sample size to go off in this second half, and you start to believe that maybe Mix's T-side is enough to push for the remaining 5. We'll see. My rule of thumb always, Harry, is, you know, we don't... You don't believe that you can win until you get there, and you don't think a game is over until it's lost. So you just got to stay in that mind, that motivation. It's round by round. And speaking of rounds, this one isn't going to be starting for a bit. So we're going to jump to a quick break. When we're back, hopefully, a long-lasting series ahead of us, and it doesn't all end after this break. Don't go anywhere. You take it.
Well, Ryan, you asked for long-lasting. The break is anything but, fortunately enough for us. We can dive right back into the action. Nemiga will want to close as soon as possible, but this might not be the round. Not unless sowalio has something to say. 1 rogue rifle, the AK in his hands, could be everything. Currently stationed in Donut. Oh, he was the best positioned CT to do something about Synopsy. But the Kosovan will not stop until Mix have tied this game right back up. It's an entry pick, which starts them off very nicely. Thought Bob was in a decent position to cut the cross, but Rigon is prepared enough to take the fight. So it does go 5-on-3.
I'll say that is one ballsy move from Synopsy, because if he dies, that's a second AK given back to the opposite side. There's one of the AKs gone. Volt quick to react and respond in kind. 2-on-4. 1 player out on B, 1 flat throw. Definitely overstaying his welcome now. I don't know how he can get away with his life. He will not, so That's why, if your team's rotating and hitting the site, you probably want to get in a position where you can activate later on, or just go meet up with your friends. There's no point sitting in between. Khan gets an AK. There's one drop to elbow as well. Let's not forget it's where Rigon died earlier on. If it's still on the ground, you'd argue it's quite the profitable one for Nemiga. 2 safe guns. They give up an 8th, but some upgraded weaponry might just go a long way, especially when you only need the one.
I can't say I've seen this boost too many times before. Nemiga trying to get creative. Any way they can push an advantage or at least hold on to what they have here. Any keepsakes from the round? It's just the one, as Volt has denied one of the 2 AKs from escaping. The chances now down to 4 for Nemiga to close on their own terms in regulation. But this is looking like the best purchase yet. The saved AK surrounded by M4s and an AWP back in the hands of Khan could be a real difference.
Another technical pause.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, we can bring you updates from other fixtures ongoing. Liquid have fallen to Sashi at a scoreline of 2-1. 13-6 for Sashi on the final map of Inferno. Those guys do love an online tournament, I have to say.
I was going to say, they know what it's like to play in qualifiers. Obviously, we had the pleasure of covering them. The pleasure of covering them at the Yellow Compass event, obviously, last year when they made the dream run in the online tournament, got to the LAN, beat Astralis as well. There's a few stories like that, to be honest, within this event. You know, Nemiga, obviously, having played at the most recent major. There's a few other teams as well in the mix that pretty big names. Obviously, we were talking about Liquid, the fact that they're going the distance with Sashi. In fact, just lost against Sashi.
And,
you know,
also
OG.
for Liquid post-major, that's now, for them, a 6th consecutive loss. If you include BO1s, if you discount them, 4 on the bounce. So yeah, they've not played a whole host of officials. So only 3 other games in the last month.
That's a big hit.
Sure.
You know, talking about the big events of the calendar year, you've got majors, Cato, Cologne, and then next in the list is probably your Pro League, right? Like,
no
it is
Liquid
such a
at
big
Pro
event.
League does feel crazy. It really does.
It's a weird thing to say, but we knew that the VRS would sort of cut out the fraudulent teams that have the big invites all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And this is the real end of it, is that you can have these underdog stories, or at least that was the idea. Only one team makes it here, though. It's not going to be Liquid, and it might not be Mixed, because Synopsy has hit the deck early from the elbow position. 5-on-4 handing over to Nemiga. They need 4 in a row. Speaking of 4, that's what they're going to have to work with, but now against, as Volt finds Carl.
And Volt will double up for his efforts as well. He has been on rails in these rounds, finding such impactful kills. As Rigon hears the steps, moving towards CT spawn, can't possibly prepare Volt in time on such low HP to take the hit through the wall. Still the timing being played. Xanta is so far away from the action. He's effectively a non-starter in the round, and with the shadows cast across the walls of Temple, Agor knows that he can take a peek, and Juan Flatro and all the rest on the mixed side know that this is 9. Just 3 rounds in it, no money left for Nemiga. The loss bonus hits the heights, but the one saved AK might not be enough to deny double digits.
I can't believe it. Juan Flatro
And it's
finds
gone.
as well. That's all the rifles removed. I am incredibly shocked that it's gotten this close. I said about what's your fight and determination like. I kind of counted Mix out of this, and I don't think anyone at home can blame me. 10-2 half, Nemiga win the pistol. It's 11-2. Like,
can we also be so surprised? You look at the backgrounds that these teams come from, the culture of comebacks on Gamer Legion and BNE alike. They have found something deep down in their hearts, a way to cling on. It's all the madness. Opening kills traded, a battle in mid gone quiet. Utility thrown back into the mix from Mix. They can't catch on to this next couple of kills. Xanta removed cleanly. The 5-7 of Lear, not so much. A rifle scalp from the body of his dead teammate, and still a 2-player lean for Nemiga towards the B site, which was under threat.
Harry, to put this into perspective, on Ancient, the 2-11 scoreline has hit the screens 133 times within the last 365 days. Not a single time a team has managed to come back and win from being 2-11 down on Ancient. It's scary stuff, man. Very scary stuff. And if you want the probability of it happening of all time, in fact, ever since Ancient has been a map, this is just ripped off HLTV, 2-11 has happened 222 times all time, all matches, so no matter what's here, what level, it has not happened once. Quite literally, Mix are going to have to rewrite history here if they want to find themselves in a winning spot in this series. 12-10. First tactical timeout used for Nemiga. I think that's 3, 4, 5 rounds too late, being perfectly honest.
Feels kind of crazy that they still had any of these left, I guess.
You
because
just think that they would have all
you
been
would
used.
assume that they would have been used, as Mix haven't called a pause once so far this game. It's only been Nemiga feeling like they need to create a break in play, have Box, their coach, stood up on his box, saying his piece and stepping back down, hoping that the players in the server can do their job. Another full investment, the last which Nemiga will be able to bring to the table before this round. It's pushed the limit of regulation and into the unknown. Cornered, flashed and dead. Is this really how the map ends up going? For Mix to lose so late on. 13-10, the first map that they won. Will they be on the receiving end? Synopsy doesn't even think about it. Couldn't consider the possibility. The captain has got them back on track. 1 kill in middle, but more on the cards. Echo needs to hit the shot, but can't, and Xanta trades it. In effect, the man advantage back on the Nemiga Gaming side.
Turn around, mate, turn around. He will eventually. And that's the A site opened up. Khan has made a quick rotate and dash towards Temple, but the other 2 players nowhere to be seen. The question is, does he slam on the gas and try and catch Mix by surprise? Or does he have to wait for the cavalry? It's valuable seconds burning off the clock. 10 of them already drawn out. The nade is good. The kill is even better. Xanta and Khan, 2v3. And with only 2 rounds left to play, this being one of them, the money is so low, they might just turn to save. A first kill comes in, a second, but it is all too late. 24 rounds will be required from 2-11. It's now 11-12.
I don't believe my eyes. Mix pushing it all the way, the very distance of Ancient. And only now do we see the next of the tactical timeouts come through from Nemiga.
It's insane. You'd think, Harry, at least, you know, if you lose in 4, 5, 6 rounds in a row, maybe, yeah, we just take 30 seconds, have a bit of a head scratch, you know, wonder what's going on. We've decided to use 2 of the 3 pauses in round 23 and round 24.
They must just feel that the read is right. And I don't know if you can blame them. The gap was so big, but it quickly catches up to you. Mix with the better buy into the 24th. AWP was saved. Akut has the big green. The rifles are there, the nades as well. Just 2 smokes and 1 molly you've already seen thrown in middle. For the CT side, in terms of stopping power, and that is exactly the kind of luck that Xanta would have required. Sowalio from Donut as well. Not like this. Nade and a molly at the back of Donut. They want to try and clear out the new addition, and they've done so. Volt again with an entry pick. But Acre at the base of mid, he's been leveled. And with Khan landing a headshot, it's a simple trade for Lear, and all on Acre. 2 low HP targets.
Oh,
the AWP won't be the gun for the job, but the backstab is there, hovering above his shoulder blades. Bob's just got to turn the corner, and the series is done in heartbreaking fashion. Rules are there to be broken, history to be rewritten, but it is not this time. 2-11 down to a 13-11 loss. What a terrible way to make your